I think I will just make a start just now, though, if that's all right with everybody, just because we have a short amount of time today. Thank you all, first of all, very much for coming along to the talk today, called From Panic to Practice, Helping Researchers Use AI Without Breaking the Rules. For those of you who don't know me, my name's Jo Young, and I'm the director of Electv Training, and we deliver training to researchers at universities all around the UK and beyond in a variety of different topics. The topic today is AI because that has been our most popular workshop that we have delivered this year so far, as in last academic year. Welcome to everyone else who's just come in. I'm just going to share the slides again, just in case anyone didn't get them. That's my slides. I'll share them again at the end. But just a little bit about me quickly. My background, big fan of the University of Edinburgh. As you can see, I did my entire research background there. I did a microbiology degree, followed by an MSc in informatics and a PhD in neuroscience and informatics. That was when I first started to study AI way back in 2003 and have been interested in it ever since. I then followed that up with a postdoc for 3 years as well. I started Electv in 2011, and as I said, we deliver training to researchers at universities in the UK and beyond, about over 100 UK universities now. So that's a little bit about me. Happy to say a bit more afterwards. What are we going to cover in our short talk today? Well, I've split it into a few little chunks. First of all, looking at skills and confidence with AI. Then looking at AI use cases and challenges. This is all what we've got from researchers. So hopefully this will give you just a few more insights in addition to the ones you've probably got in your own institutions, as from what we've seen across a number of different institutions. Then I'll look at how guidelines can be variable, say a little bit about what we're doing to help with that, and then finally go into our Amy, AI and Me directory of tools before talking a bit about what's next. The QR code for the slides on the screen, feel free to use. I'll share the link again at the end as well. Also, I'm available afterwards, so please do feel free to stay and chat to me and ask any questions as well, and I'll be happy to answer them. So the first bit I'm just going to dive into with regard to AI is skills and confidence. So we all know that AI is part of research workflows for a lot of people now. How has this been changing over recent years? Like any technology revolution, AI is no different. The technology moves faster than the skills guidelines and policies, so it is something that can often be a little bit hard to keep on top of. So I'm just going to give you a few insights to what we have seen in the last couple of years. So we've been delivering an AI workshop called Generative AI and the Researcher. We also have an on-demand course, and we've been doing that for the last couple of years at various institutions. Throughout that time, we've been polling our researchers that have attended the workshops and just asking them a little bit about their AI usage. So I'm just giving you a real snapshot on it today because it's short, but we have polled 1,678 researchers, PGR, ECR level mostly, across 91 different AI workshops that we've delivered in 36 institutions, mostly all in the UK. This has been over the last couple of years. What have we asked them? We said, have you used AI tools for your work? Yes, I find them useful. Yes, but I don't know how to use them. No, I'm not sure where to start. And no, I'm not interested, have been the 4 options. They can only choose one of them. And these are the results that we have seen. So I've actually split the following 2 graphs into the 2 separate academic years. So the first graph I'll show you is what we obtained from the 23-24 academic year, and then I'll show you the second graph, which is from 24 to 25, so last year. And you can just see a little bit how it's changed. So what we found was when we asked people if they'd been using AI, not last year, but the year before, we found about 44% of researchers said yes, and we found that and that they found AI tools useful. 16% said yes, but they didn't know how to use them, and the remainder said either no, they're not sure where to start, or no, they're not interested. How has this changed for this academic year? Well, we asked exactly the same question. Okay, slightly bigger number of people in the poll this time. But that number has risen from 44 to 59% of people who say, yes, we use AI tools and we find them useful. It's not changed too much from yes, I don't know how to use them, yes, but I don't know how to use them. The no, I'm not sure where to start has gone down, so people seem to be a little bit clearer as to where they want to start. And very interestingly, at the bottom, more people are not interested in AI, which is also quite entertaining and worth exploring perhaps another time. So what we have seen is that AI uptake has been rising, as expected, but the confidence and skills aren't necessarily always keeping up. So what do researchers actually end up using AI for? A massive range of things, as you can imagine. We've just tried to map some of these into the actual stages of the research process. And this is basically what we've been told by researchers in our workshops as to what they've been using AI tools for. So this is what we've got as the 7 stages of the research process, right from discovery, when you come up with your project, through implementation, doing the work, analyzing it, writing it up, publishing it, doing some outreach about it, and then evaluation, like responding to comments and metrics and things like that. As you can see, researchers are using AI at all stages of the research process in things like finding and summarizing papers, finding research questions, but also for coding, refining experiments, doing analysis, and this is going to be a huge one in the coming years, analysis as well, where it's really going to come in. For writing, it comes as no surprise to anyone that people are using it for papers, proposals, and writing a thesis when allowed. Publication, using AI tools for journal selection, peer review, editorial response, revising manuscripts. Careful how they're using it for peer review. That, again, is a whole other question and conversation. Also for things like outreach and even running things like metric reports as well. So researchers are using AI in all different areas. I'll come back to the questions at the end as well, so please do keep asking. So what are the main challenges that researchers have been facing then? So again, it comes as no surprise that there's uncertainty about what's permitted. Researchers are often getting confused as to what they're allowed to use it for, especially PGRs. Also, there's sometimes slightly different advice from funders, journals, supervisors, departments. There are different rules and guidelines within and between universities. There's also a fairly limited awareness of different AI tools, probably because they're coming up and changing so fast. A lot of people are aware of things like Copilot, ChatGPT, but there are a whole host of other ones available for researchers that some people aren't yet aware of. There's sometimes a bit of lack of skills or understanding of how to use AI tools. That comes up a lot. They don't know how to use them. And of course, always concerns about ethics and responsible use. This is a big one. We could do entire workshops on that subject, of course, and it is very important to be clear about that. As I mentioned, ambiguous or contradictory guidance comes in. We've even heard of supervisors discouraging or even prohibiting AI use of any kind to their students or even their postdocs as well. Also, some worries about data privacy and security, of course, which is something that we all need to be aware of, and unclear expectations around documenting and reporting. So they're told, yes, you're allowed to use AI as long as you tell us exactly how to do it, how to track the AI usage. There's still a bit required on that as well. So, as I mentioned there, AI guidelines do vary within and between institutions. And of course, between funders, between journals as well for publication. So there are quite a few differences. This is something that has been quite interesting to see across different universities because we've worked with different ones and what people are and are not allowed to do, what they're encouraged to do, what they're not encouraged to do. So what we've started to do, and this is the work from our intern, Natalie Campbell, who's been doing this project over the last few months, we're actually putting together a database comparing AI guidelines and policies from UK universities, starting with Scotland, because that's where I'm based, but also because it's a bit smaller and easier to start with as well. And we are basically just trying to find out as much as we can, and we're going to make this database available to the community so people can go and see what the differences are. Some very preliminary findings for us looking into these AI policies or guidelines, because not all universities have policies. Just from Scotland so far, about half of universities in Scotland have AI guidelines for researchers at the university level. The other half don't yet, or at least haven't made them public at this point. It may be that instead they don't want to have guidelines and policies, or maybe they've got them at the school or the department level or something like that. So there's a lot of differences there. There's varying levels of detail between these policies, some of them being very detailed, others being a little bit more vague. And also, most of them tend to be fairly permissive. Yes, we're happy for you to use AI as long as you report it. Most of them always require reporting and declaration. So they're not very restrictive, which is probably quite a positive thing about the use of AI as well. Okay, so this is an ongoing project. We're going to hopefully be able to report a lot more on this next year, hopefully looking UK-wide as well, not just at Scotland, but it's taking us quite a bit of time to gather the data and information. Please do feel free to share information with us that can be added to the database. We'd really love to hear from you on this as well. Finally, because a lot of researchers often say they're not sure about tools and how to use them and what they can use them for, we created this. It's called AMY, or AI and Me, stands for Artificial Intelligence and My Ecosystem. This is basically a big directory, a big resource full of, and it's got over 40 tried and tested AI tools for researchers, tried and tested by us. They're all in one resource. People can go and have a look at it. Those of you who've been to my sessions, I know some of you are in the room will have seen this already. But basically what we have on here is, and you can use the QR code on the top right of the screen. I'll also share the link at the end as well though. Basically, what we have here is, as I said, listed over 40 generative and normal AI tools that you can go into, find out what they are, what they do, what company is behind them and owns them. It's not always a company, it could be a charity, it could be an organization. And also it compares things like what stage of the research process you might want to use this tool. If it's a free tool, every single tool on here has a free option. Some of them also have subscription options though, but we're very conscious to put free tools in as much as we can. And it also compares their capabilities, what they can do, so analysis, literature searching, etc. as well. So you can see all 40, but you can also reorganize them by stage of the research process, by our top 10, by feature and what they do as well. So this is basically a resource we'd like the community to use. We'd love to hear more about what tools you find useful and what we can add to this as well. So this is bringing me up to the end of the talk, and what's next? So our projects are ongoing, AI and Me, we're going to keep adding to that. We're going to keep adding to our guidelines database as well. But what we have found, and I'd love to hear what you found and if it agrees with what we've seen as well, is that AI training is needed for researchers at all different career stages, right from undergrad up to supervisor, professor and beyond. Of course, clearer guidance can always be helpful. This is not necessarily easy to do, but from universities, publishers, funders on appropriate AI use. More can be done to protect data and be really clear about security concerns as well. And more support and potentially even tools for researchers to document, track and report their AI use as well. And I think there's going to be a few more of those coming in the future too. Also, there's an increasing demand for a targeted AI training. So for example, what we've been seeing and what we've been doing is quite a lot of AI training for data visualization and analysis with appropriate caveats on data sharing, of course. But these types of things will also be the case in many other topics as well. So actually very specific AI use as opposed to generic there. But I would love to hear more from yourselves about any of the things I've talked about here, or if you'd like to hear more from me, I'm going to stick around online, so please do feel free to stay and chat. You can get in touch with me with by joe@electv.net. I'll also be at the Vitae conference in a couple of weeks in Bristol, so feel free to catch me there as well. We also have a lot of further information. Again, you can actually get hold of it on that QR code there, but I'm also just going to share here in the meeting chat, all of the links that are on the screen as well. So there you go. So that will also just share the directory, the link to our generative AI and the researcher on demand course, but we also do the live version. And also our competition for Vitae, you get 20 free places on the generative AI on demand course if you win. Okay, so if you enter that, there's a very easy AI question as well. Thank you again to Natalie, my fantastic intern, for all of her work on our project and our database, the Electv team, and all the lovely researcher developers and other people I've spoken to about all of the things I've talked about today. Thank you very much for coming along, folks, and please feel free to ask if you've got any questions. I'm happy to stay and chat more or get in touch via email. Thank you, everybody. I think that's, yep, 3:15 exactly. Thanks, folks. Thanks very much. Thank you, everyone. I'm happy to pick up on all the questions that came in as well. Didn't actually track all of them.
I am going to stick around and ask a few, if that's all right.
Oh yeah, Anna. Yeah, absolutely. Yes, sorry. And I see you've asked one as well, which I can answer. Oh yes. Okay, great.
Is it just generative AI you're
Is it?
talking?
No, it's quite a mixture. We are using other AI as well. So yeah, good question.
They
So
tend to be lumped in together, and actually, some of the problems I have with generative AI aren't relevant for the other kinds,
mm,
in terms of accuracy and ethics and things. Isn't it? The kind of more technical ones for use in research is fine, but
yeah,
it's yeah. Um, and I don't know. Yeah, I don't know about. This is something I'm struggling with, just in terms of finding ways to train people and ways to, yeah, getting people to talk together to produce. Well, there is some guidelines, but they probably need updating. And is this my
that's
job?
the thing. They just need updating so fast, don't they? I mean, this is the trouble we're having with the project as well with the guidelines is that they change. We've been putting the date that we've got the guidelines from, but it may change the day after or something. So
Yeah,
yeah,
tricky.
it's tricky. But I'd love to hear more about what you're doing at Q.
Oh, well,
Yeah,
nothing.
I think
It's
it'd be
pretty
great.
well. It's where to start is the question. Well, surveying our staff to find out what they're doing is one thing we can do, but
Yeah.
um, yes. But are any of these tools available? Well, I mean, we may have some budget, but at the moment we currently don't. Is some of them in is anything available for nothing right now? I know that's a cheeky question.
Is anything available for
Available
free?
for
The
nothing
tools.
right now, yeah.
All of the tools in our AIME database they have a free option. And what
Oh, I
they
don't
tend
mean
to
I
do.
mean your resource about the tools.
Oh,
If
my
that
resort. So the Amy, yeah, yeah, go for it. You can look at it for free.
right.
Yeah. So we've been showing it to people in our workshops since it was launched in February, and updating and adding to it. But I mean, I'm really happy for people to look at it beyond that. You don't have to have done our workshops. And we'd just love to hear what people think and what we're missing, because I'm sure there are things that people see that we don't as well.
Well, I might be in touch about what training you can actually offer. And I know, do you come down to London sometimes?
I do, or can do it all online. But yes, I do. I do love a trip to London from Edinburgh.
Yeah,
So yeah,
a lot of people probably will want it online, but it's yeah, it's
yeah.
know what people want really.
Thank you, Anna.
All right, thank you very much.
You're very welcome. And yeah, the challenges definitely I agree with what Joe has said there as well about environmental sustainability.